This is a video of the restoration of a farmhouse that was built in approximately 1837. This home is located on Thompson Road in Dawsonville, and it is owned by the descendants of the Thompson family who still farm this property. So this home has been in the same family now for over 170 years or 60 years. You do the math. This is what the home looked like when we took over the project. And it was in bad disrepair. The first pictures you saw were taken about 1990. And then this is what the home looks like today. I went ahead and set the stage for you so that you'd be able to see what our goal was when we began the project. These are some shots I took in September of 2009. So these are pretty current. And it was on a beautiful day. And I thought, well, what the heck? Let's go ahead and take some pictures of some of our work here. But I'm going to take you through the construction of the improvements that we did on this house, and you're going to see it's pretty amazing transformation. Now, this is what it looked like on the interior. This was in the kitchen, and these were some shots of the home prior to us beginning the work. These shots were upstairs. Notice the open ceiling up into the rafters. I mean, it was pretty dingy, bleak, cabiny kind of feel. You could see through some of the boards on the outside. That was a shot of the crawl space. You're going to see what we had to do in order to make this home ready to demolish the back half of it. We had to have a lot of bracing in here so that we could ensure that the front half was not going to come off with the back half when we removed it. This is a shot of some of the areas that we are going to remove. This is the old kitchen area, and this is in the foyer. Now we're going to leave all that. As dingy and as bleak as it looks, we're going to leave all that. When we get done, it's going to look fantastic. Here's one of the bedrooms, another one of the bedrooms. Those floors, incidentally, are all heart pine, and we get done with them, they're going to look fantastic. All right, the bracing has begun. We've got to brace off this structure so that when we remove the kitchen and the areas back behind there, see the old fireplace, all that's going to go away. And this is some of the insulation that was in the upstairs bedrooms. All it was newspaper from the 1880s. All right, now you see those threaded rods up in the joist bays. That's what's going to hold the house together, along with all of the pressure-treated truss work that we did down in the crawl space. When we get done with that, then you'll see why we did it, because we've got some pictures of the removal of the back half of the house. Everything has been braced off now. See that area that's black? That's the area that's going to be going away. You see the old well house there. That well is still there, but it's in the floor of the new garage. That handprint from 18 whatever. That's Joanne. She's looking down into the well, and you can see that we're preparing to remove the back half. We had to surgically separate the two parts of the structure, and then bring in a big machine like that. Got the cable tied up, and we're going to start ripping pieces of the old structure off of the house, piece by piece. And then once we get a little bit further down the road, we just come in there and just start pulling pieces apart with the big bucket. And the whole thing's going to come down in just a minute. You can see it's weakening, and it's tumbling. But notice the front half of the house stayed. Everything was braced off properly. You can't just come into one of these and just start tearing things out. You got to prepare for the demolition. Now you see the front half of the house is still there. It hasn't moved a bit, and now we're going to do a little bit of weatherproofing on it. And the back half, which included the kitchen area, that was all perfectly demolished. That was Reagan. He's inside the foundation of the front porch, and that was one of the first things we started putting back, was the front porch. You'll see in any number of these shots the foundation, and a lot of the foundation were just loose rocks that were piled up, and the house was set on it, and it's been that way since 1837. Now you see our foundation is going in for the new addition in the back, which is going to be a breakfast room, a dining room, a living room, and a kitchen, as well as a garage. So it's a sizable area that we're adding into the back and bringing everything in the home up to today's standards. There's Reagan. He's admiring all the handiwork going on there. And this is down in the crawl space of the new addition. The new addition is starting to take form here. And while we were working, that you see that gable on the left-hand side. While we were working, Reagan and Joanne decided to go ahead and finish that area off, and so that became an alcove, kind of a sitting room, a little playroom for grandchildren and such as that. All right, you can see that our side porch there is really starting to take effect, and you can see all the architectural elements of it that are really looking good. And while we're doing all that, the interior of the original house is pretty much just waiting for us to do some finishing. All right, now we've got the house framed up. We've got the garage framed up. You see everything is ready to accept windows, and all of the architectural massing is in place. So it's starting to look like a house. And here's some shots of the interior. This is the new area that's looking through the kitchen. And of course this is in the garage. You see the old well that's still there. Now down on the floor there we put a steel plate so you can drive on top of it, and that well is still there. Just some more interior shots of the construction. And now here's some finished shots of the home that was originally the 1837 part of it. This is after move-in. This is after all the finishing and all of the creation of cabinets. Notice the floors, how they finished off just beautifully. The insulation on the walls there, all that was laid back down with polyurethane. Even new additions were put in there. You see that one of the Kennedy assassination. Take a little license there with the historical nature of the wall, and now everything's just beautiful. We built those doors with historical hardware, and to insulate the walls upstairs, you'll see in all these pictures that we put blocks of insulation, of foam insulation, in between the original hand-hewn studs, and then flat-taped sheetrock to those studs, and you'll get a couple of shots of real close-ups of that, how our sheetrocker really did a great job with that. Now, we didn't change the stairs other than putting a new rail up, so that even though they didn't conform to the building code, that kind of gets grandfathered in situations like that. New cabinets in Reagan's office. The fireplaces are no longer working, but they do look good. Now this is up supporting the second floor, that lower beam, the dark one, and around the exterior, that's what we installed. There's Wendy, my wife, and everything looks really great. Take a look at the hand-hewn studs there and how we were able to finish the drywall off to the hand-hewn studs. Another shot of one of the doors we made. Now take a look at the ceiling there. Those rough hand-hewn beams there, we had to plane them down in order to accept a new ceiling. That's up in the upstairs bedrooms. Another one of our doors made on the job. Everything just turned out beautifully in this home. There's another shot of how we were able to finish off the ceiling of the second floor. The original pictures that you saw, that ceiling was not there. It just went straight on up into the roof area. That's a bypass door that we made out of to make it look like it was historical. And you saw that hand-hewn stud there on the finishing to it. Notice the dowel there. That's a historical nature of the original home. And this is the new area, and we're able to save some of the old timbers that were torn out and put them where we actually needed some structure between the kitchen and the breakfast room. That's what that is. And you'll notice at the very top how everything was mortised together. There you go. That's what that is. That's the mortising, and that's what the way they would have done it back in the day that the home was built. Now take a look at these floors. They sanded down beautifully. It's all heart pine. I mean, you just can't find this kind of material anymore, but back then we had virgin pine forests around here, and those materials were plentiful, and that's what they used to build these homes with back in the mid-1800s. Here's more shots of the kitchen. And then this is the new master bedroom. It's in the old section now. We sheetrocked everything in there and finished the walls off kind of contemporary. But everything else about it is the existing old home. Now that's a great shot right there with the light coming in, shining on the floors, and showing what kind of finishing we ended up with. Now this is that area upstairs. This is the kids' room, and you saw the area that we finished underneath that gable that I spoke about early on. This is the breakfast room, and the wainscoting that you see there, that was made from materials that we had salvaged from the job. There's a shot of the new wood stove, and now we're going to finish up with a few shots of what the home looks like today. These are some shots that I got from Reagan. He took a few shots. This looks like Christmas in New England. Just some really, really pretty shots. It's a great home, and the folks are really enjoying their life there. And we appreciate you joining us on this video of the restoration of the 1837 farmhouse.